Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete and another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back into KSL News Radio, your legacy home of the BYU Cougars. We're joined now, excited to be joined by BYU's newest quarterback, Gerry Bohanon, formerly of Baylor and South Florida, now here with the Cougars. Congrats on being here at BYU, Gerry. And how did we get here? How are you now a BYU Cougar?
Thank you guys for having me first off. And I became a BYU Cougar. When I got in the portal, Matt reached out to me. He talked to me pretty early as soon as I got in. Asked how I was doing. They came to see me throw, and then I came on a visit. I came on a visit 2 days later after they saw me throw. And this place is a special place. The atmosphere is lovely. The people are very, very welcoming. The staff, the players, they're just here. They love ball. They love each other. You can see that it's bigger than football here, and that's one thing that stood out to me. And coming here, it just felt like home. My mom came with me. She said the same thing. I mean, I've never been on a visit at any level where my mom sang karaoke with the head coach and the staff. So that was very special to me, and that was, you could see that was authentic, that was real, that was special. And so for me, that's where I wanted to be at. That's the place that I want to play and to represent this logo. So.
What was the song that your mom was singing with the coaches on karaoke?
It was a lot of songs. I couldn't even name it. It was so many songs. We were down there until midnight, put it like that. We were down until midnight. She was not ready to go, and they were not leaving yet. So I'm going to just put it like that. It was a lot of songs.
Was that the first time that BYU had reached out to you, or was there some communication back when you left Baylor and went to South Florida?
Before I went to South Florida, they were recruiting me to come here. So I kind of had built a relationship a little bit with Coach A-Rod, and Matt was with Matt at Baylor. So they reached out to me then. I didn't come on a visit, and reached out to me again. I was like, second time, I'm going to go on a visit and see what that place is like and see what everybody talks about. And it was more than I expected, better than I expected. I mean, I really didn't have any expectations, but for me, it was like something just told me to go on a visit, and it felt like the place for me.
You brought up Roderick and Coach Matt Mitchell visiting you. Did you throw for them? How did that performance go? You felt like in that throwing session, and what clarity did you need from these coaches at BYU to ultimately come here to Provo?
The throwing session went really, really well. I was able to throw a lot of the routes here that I ran to them. Did a pretty good job. First time doing a lot of the footwork again since my time at Baylor. So got to do it for those guys. It still felt good, honestly. So they were excited. I was excited. And what was the second part?
And as far as what, answers did you need from BYU staff? What questions did you have for them?
The only question I had was an opportunity. I just wanted an opportunity. I mean, I've missed the game for a year. I just want the opportunity to be able to compete and play again. So for me, being able to play again was all I needed to hear.
What has Aaron Roderick communicated to you about how the quarterback competition is going to unfold in spring football, into the summer, and then into fall camp?
Just that we'll be competing every day. I'm competing in everything we do, which whether there's a starter or a backup, whatever, a 3 or 4, regardless of what the position you're in, every day is a competition. That's how you elevate the room. That's how you elevate the team with the level of competition. So it's just to be competing every day.
Gerry, you brought up opportunity. Were you exploring other opportunities beyond just BYU, or when BYU gave you the opportunity, was that kind of clear for you, all you needed?
I was exploring. I took a couple of visits, talked to some schools, and was going to visit a few places, but didn't. Once I came to BYU, I was like, I'm good. I didn't want to take any more visits. So kind of thought cutting off some communication with some coaches, let them know that I found a spot that I feel like would be the place for me.
How's your health, Gerry? You're coming off a big injury since the last time we've seen you. How do you feel like you've recovered?
I feel like I've recovered really, really well. I'm excited. I feel good. Like I said, I'm finally healthy, cleared, and everything, and do everything. So I'll be ready to roll for spring ball, and I feel good. Like I'm getting my body back in shape and used to working out, lifting, throwing, doing everything, and it's been feeling good. So I'm excited.
It was a torn labrum injury on your throwing shoulder for those listeners who are just kind of getting to know your story. That sounds extensive for a quarterback. I mean, was there ever doubt that the college football career and the dream was coming to an end? It would just kind of take us through the road to recovery from this shoulder.
Honestly, I would say there was a lot of doubt, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of nights with no sleep, a lot of everything you can think of. For me, I said before, I had surgery November 3rd, and I wasn't confident that I would be able to play again until a year later in November in 2023. Just didn't feel like myself. Wasn't able to throw a ball for 5 months. And I remember my first time trying to throw a ball. I was throwing to a guy. He was standing 10 yards away, and I just kept throwing at his knees, and I was trying so hard. Won't ever forget that moment. I hit some of the lowest points of my life throughout that because I've always played football. Football has always been something that I've cared and dreamed of doing at the highest level. And but God has a plan. I say this year, this journey, it means a lot to me. It was a special year. I learned a lot about myself, and I grew a lot in a lot of areas that I probably ignored within my life, and because I always just put football as a priority. But it helped me out mentally. I had some days that I didn't think I would make it out of, just because you go from being able to pick a ball up and throw it however you want to okay, now you got to throw a tennis ball, now you got to throw a lacrosse ball, now you got to throw now you can throw a football, and it's like, man, I can't even throw the ball 10 yards right now. Then you start making time in those days. I can throw 15 yards, I can throw 20 yards, but that takes a very, very long time to get to. Like it's like teaching a baby how to walk. That's literally what I can compare the journey to. A baby learning how to walk, it takes a long time for it. So for me, it was a lot of dark days, a lot of doubt.
What aspect on the mental side? Because you noted, mentally you feel like you're stronger than you've ever been. In what ways do you feel like that type of rehab, that type of trial has benefited you from a mental standpoint as a football player?
Everybody goes through adversity in life, but with that injury, I was in a position that no one could understand because I was the only person in there. Everybody in my family, everybody could say everything, but nobody knew how I felt. I couldn't sleep for 4 hours for months. Like I just couldn't. I wasn't comfortable, and it hurted to lay on it. Hurted to lay a lot of ways. It hurted to put your arms in certain positions. I mean, I couldn't lift my arm. I remember one day I literally were just trying to get me to lift my arm. So for me, mentally, it just got me to a point where I was like, it made me appreciate the small things about life. It made me appreciate every little thing about football. That's why every day you see me, I mean, the workouts are extremely hard, but I can't do anything but smile because I'm here. I'm able to do it. And for me, it's just I have a different level of appreciation for the game. A lot of people try to take it for granted and just do it just because. But for me, I realized that this game, I always knew it meant a lot to me, but I was able to realize it's bigger than football. It's bigger than me. And like football means the world to me, but the way I inspire through football is what I came to realize is the best thing about it. And so for me, I just grew in a lot of areas. I matured in a lot of areas, and I just gained a different level of appreciation for the game.
Do you feel like your confidence remain intact, going into this season about your abilities as a player after such a long, difficult road to recovery?
Well, definitely. You go through it. The confidence is built from the days that aren't good, the days that are good, the days that aren't good, the days that are good. That is where the confidence is built. You just keep stacking those days. And I mean, I've stacked over a year of days. So for me, that confidence is back. I remember my first throwing session when I realized I could play again. I called my mom. I literally walked off the field. Shoot, I almost could cry, to be honest with you. But I was just it was all tears of joy though. I was happy. I surprised myself. I told her that's the best way to put it. I surprised myself because I went out there and did some things that I didn't even know how to do, but that was a make or break moment for me. And that moment was special for me.
We're joined by BYU quarterback Gerry Bohanon right here on Cougar Sports Saturday. You noted the joy of participating in winter conditioning, which I'm not sure everyone would enjoy. But since you've been around the guys and with the team, what are some of your takeaways from winter workouts of this particular group?
This particular group, this is a very strong physical team. Some of the guys are huge, strong, physical, fast. They like to compete. They like to compete. They like to have fun. They like to be around each other. And for me, that's the environment you want to train in. You want to be around a lot of guys you can compete with. You can motivate. That motivates you and you inspire, and you guys just find ways to get better. Like in those moments where you're tired, you're fatigued, you don't think you have anything left. You guys have each other, and so that's where that bond, that winning culture is developed because you guys realize and develop a relationship that when you guys don't think you guys have anything left, you guys get each other out of that phase that you're in, and you guys elevate each other. So I would say this environment has been amazing.
You've brought up Coach Roderick and Coach Mitchell, but I'm curious, Gary, what have your interactions been like with Kalani Sitake and your impressions of him?
Coach reminds me a lot of my dad. My interaction with him has been really, really good. I mean, for my visit, we talked on my visit. My meeting with him went probably an hour and a half over the time that it should have been. We talked for a long time, just getting to know him and his background, mine and my background, and just ways that we thought that we had to take the steps in to grow. And he just kind of talked to me about like figuring out about my health, how I felt, how everything was going. And he just kind of talked to me a lot about BYU and what BYU has to offer, what BYU football has to offer, the family aspect of BYU football and the competitiveness, and how he coaches and what he looks for in his players.
How much of a role did returning to the Big 12? There's some new additions this year with schools from the Pac-12 joining, but getting back to this level of football, how much of a role did that play in your decision to commit to BYU?
If I would say I played a little bit of a role, not much, because it was just about getting the opportunity to play. I mean, I just wanted to play. I mean, of course, I'm honored to be able to play in the Big 12 again, and it's a special conference to compete in. And so for me, the competition level is one thing that I did love about BYU, being able to play back on those big stages against those big time programs, because as a competitor, you want to play the best of the best. So I want to play the best of the best at all times. And for me, being able to play in the Big 12 again was very special. And I knew that I wanted to come back to the Big 12. I said it to my coach in December. But I didn't know if that was going to happen. I said, if there was a conference I could go pick to play in, I would love to go back to the Big 12.
Gary, on the surface, I feel like a lot of us look at, the similar coaching paths between, Jeff Grimes, Aaron Roderick. We would assume that there's a lot of similarities between what you ran at Baylor and BYU. Is that correct? Or do you feel like these are different offenses than what you ran when you were in Waco?
I wanted to say they are very similar, but they also are different in quite a bit of ways. Run some of the same things, but there are tweaks and little things that has changed within. But from the foundation, there's a similar foundation. But Coach A-Rod does his things are different from how Coach Grimes wants to do his things. So I would say there's a similarity with the foundation, and that foundation was laid when I was at Baylor, but there's still some differences in what Coach A-Rod wants to accomplish.
You played BYU twice, right? With Baylor and with South Florida. What do you remember about playing BYU from those games?
I will always say this: BYU is one of the most physical teams I've ever played against. Those guys, they all play hard. They play for each other. They play for Coach Kalani. They play together. They compete. They fly around. They just love the game. I mean, you walk out there and those guys are the same guys throughout the entire game, no matter what the situation is. I mean, I've lost against them. They were great game, great job. The fans as well. Beat them. Great game, great job. And it's just you get the same thing from them. That's what you want, consistency. You turn on that film, you see a lot of consistency. And so for me, I will always remember that team is one of the most competitive teams, but also one of the most respectful teams, and the team that I have the most respect for the way they play the game.
Gary, I'm curious, and I bring this up because it was such a hot topic with transfer portal and quarterbacks. There was a coach at Nebraska, Matt Rule, who said to get quarterbacks, you got to pay like $1 million in NIL. How big of a piece was NIL and the conversations around that for you by coming to BYU?
I mean, honestly, NIL it's a plus, but it's almost you can't, like, everybody ends up with NIL. Like, if you played at a high level, NILs, you're marketable. You've done it at a high level. People know who you are. So it plays a part. But the thing about money and NIL didn't really play that big of a part for me, because It's not about the money for me. It's about me being able to play football again. But here at NIL, Roy Blue has a lot of benefits that are just besides giving players money. They help teach you about financial advisory. They teach you about credit card. They help you with learn things about that. They offer a way more than just money. It's bigger than money here. They have a lot of connections for 10 years down the line now. A lot of business connections about things that you want to do in the future and whatever you want to pursue when you're done playing. They have benefits in that way too. So this collective is a little bit different besides just offering money.
And just to follow up on that, Gary, when you talk about education and things like that, if I'm not mistaken, I heard a while back that you already have your master's from South Florida. Are we going to be talking about Dr. Bohanon here soon in college? Like, what's kind of tell us about your college career?
Okay, to be honest with you, I actually have both of my degrees from Baylor. That goes to say I kind of got them pretty soon. I wasn't playing for the first 2 years, so I was like, let me go hard in the classroom right now. So that way, on the back end of my career, I can kind of dictate exactly what I want to do. Maybe I get another degree, or maybe I can just focus on ball. So for me, you won't be hearing Dr. Bohanon, although my mom and Miss Rosemary, which is the head academic advisor at USF, would love to hear that, but I would not be pursuing a doctor. So right now, at least, I kind of want to just focus on this year ball. I got a second chance at it, so I want to kind of focus on it.
Speaking of ball, this wide receiver group, experienced group, a lot of guys back from last year's group. What do you know about this wide receiver group that you'll be throwing to?
I've been getting quite a bit of work in with them, throwing a few times a week with those guys, getting around them in the locker room, outside the locker room, eating. Just spending time with those guys. They're talented, they're big, they're physical, and the ceiling is extremely high for that room. They have a lot of talent, a lot of guys that are very, very experienced, and a lot of personality. So I'm excited to get to work with those guys in spring ball and just to keep elevating those guys, and those guys keep elevating me as the more we learn about each other. So I'm excited.
What's been your favorite part about living in Provo so far, Gary?
At first, it was the view. Seeing the mountains where I'm from, you don't really see mountains with snow like that. So the view is very, very nice. My favorite part would be BYU. Being able to train, get around these guys. I mean, I'm here all day doing something with football. So just being around the different guys and different coaches and just getting to meet everybody and spend time and develop my relationship with everybody has been the best part about being here.
And I just wanted to follow up too. I wanted to bring up the leadership qualities that you've had as shown in your college career, and I note it because I feel like at Baylor, Dave Aranda was very transparent with you and giving you the chance to, go into the portal in that May window. I remember because he just so much respect for you and Coach Golish and Jeff Scott at USF, spoke highly about your leadership. How your leadership, what can that provide to this BYU team that's looking to prove something in year 2 in the Big 12 and looking to get back to the postseason and more this season?
I think for my leadership qualities, I think the main thing for me is that I feel like I get guys to believe in themselves a different way. They get to believe in me a different kind of way. They get to see themselves a different way that they never knew they can see themselves. And just for, as any human, for you to see a guy that really believes in you and express it and lets you know it, and when he sees what the potential is in you and he helps build you up and the inspiration and you guys work so hard together, I think the ability to play for each other kind of rises. For me, I'm experienced. I'm a confident guy. You see a confident guy, and it's like, okay, no matter the situation, that guy's the same guy every single day. We could be down 30 or up 40. He's the same exact guy. And once you see that, a guy that's never up and down and never get wavered, I mean, you admire it, and you're like, okay, that's a guy that's been here, done, and I want to be like that guy. I want to follow that guy. And then you get guys to play and think to that level. And once you get a full team of guys thinking that way, I mean, you're unbeatable then. So that's the goal.
This is a many months down the road, but it is topical. The Big 12's conference schedule came out. You know who you're playing on what weeks. When you saw that schedule released, were there any games that you felt maybe you circled on the calendar that you're extra looking forward to?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to every single game. I have a year left, and didn't get to play every year, so didn't get to play last year. So for me, I'm looking forward to playing everybody. Some teams on there that I've always wanted to play against, with some great coaches and great players. So you get a chance to compete against guys, and a few places that, of course, I get to play the past place that I've been at. Excited about that one. Get to see some of those guys that I've trained with for the longest. Get to see some old coaches that I've coached me and helped develop me and helped me get to where I am today. So I'm excited about every game, but I'm looking forward to playing everybody on the schedule for sure.
And just to close it out, Gary, appreciate all the time here. How excited are you to go into your final season of college football? Because, and I bring it up because I feel like just seeing you from afar and being someone who loves recruiting. I remember when you were like an Elite 11 prospect and all the twists and turns of, this career, how it's gone for you. Just how motivated are you to kind of really end on a high note and deliver something special for you in this BYU program?
For me, I'm very excited. I mean, 6 years ago, I didn't know what my journey would look like. None of us know what our journey looked like. But for me, just getting the opportunity to play at this level has been an honor. For me, I'm excited because I'm healthy. I'm getting a chance to do what I love. I've worked so hard for it my entire life, and I just want to be able to say I did. I was able to put myself in a position to do it again, because I had some times I was told maybe you won't be able to do it again. So for me, it's an honor to be able to take that field and go out there and practice and perform and produce. And I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm excited. Really can't put into words how excited I am just to be out there. I mean, just working out every day. If you see me just smiling, embracing everything about it because I'm here. Like we didn't know if I'd be here. I mean, everybody in my circle, in my corner, we talked about it, but we just did not know. I did not know, and me going through it each and every day, I did not know, and it was difficult for me. So for me, I'm just thankful to be here. Honestly, God has a plan. He works in mysterious ways, and for me, my journey, maybe my journey was different. And it shaped me in a lot of different ways that I did not know that I need to be shaped in, and it's developed me, and I'm thankful for it. You look back on it, and at the beginning of the moments, you're like, why me, why me, why me? But all I can say is thank you for the way it went.
Well, Gary, we're looking forward to spring football. It's going to be a blast to watch you compete, and hope you stay healthy. And looking forward to watching you play this year.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me on.